which include the special avatar border, the exclusive skin, the battle emote, the sacred statue, and of course, that exclusive skin, it's Clint's Shadow Omen skin. You can gain it directly for 899 diamonds, and once more, this all happens until tonight. At the end of the night, the 24th of January. Now back into the draft. We're a minute away from commencing game number 5. What can we expect here? Again, that short discourse from our panelists and hosts, our analysts, the smart guys, if I will. They broke it down and they said, you know what? We're playing our fair games, and now we're trying to introduce these odd choices of like weird marksmen and just bodies being thrown at you so that there's space for ace. What can we expect in game 5? Who's going to be making the bigger moves?
Honestly, at this point in time, I would say Burmese Ghouls are probably going to make the bigger move here, especially since they get to decide which side of the map they're on.
Yeah, and one thing's clear. BrenEsports found the answer of the Baksha at game number 1, game number 2. Game number 4, Burmese Schools just freely gave it to them. And they still defeated BrenEsports. So, Burmese Schools, they have the strategy all figured out. It's just for BrenEsports right now, they do have to put in a lot of emphasis into not losing the draft.
A lot of pressure on BrenEsports right now. Going into the draft, it's Burmese Ghouls on the boot. Esmeralda taken out. BrenEsports, they get rid of the Diggy. That's a requirement as well. Burmese Ghouls, they get rid of the Baksha. Contra, your thoughts?
Yeah, and of course now Burmese Ghouls introducing a brand new problem, because that last game we saw that Lunox was quite an important factor coming in towards the third man to enter any sort of that team fight. And of course, Burmese Ghouls will make a certain priority pick here. What we see here is very standard heading in towards the first phase. We definitely don't expect any of these 4 to go through, but this final man here, this is where you start to draw the lines here on what you must pick coming into this to secure that match point.
This is interesting. Like for BrenEsports, nothing much has changed. Burmese Ghouls, they ban out the Baksha just because they know that this is not going to be great for their side if ever BrenEsports has the red side or the first 2 picks.
Interesting. Burmese Ghouls, I thought they were going to play a very similar composition to what they did in Game 4, but it looks like they're willing to give up the Yi Shin and instead play for something more aggressive and snowbally like the Selena. I don't know whether this is going to be beneficial, but Bren, they're going to have to figure out a way to play a little bit more defensively or at the very least answer the aggression.
I think Kid here is just opening up what BrenEsports can do, like they're just letting them be, and I think that's what happened. Remember, from game 4, we were asking when the draft happened, or is this a trap? Or is this a trap? And indeed it was. Now that's the jawhead locked in by BrenEsports. The Burmese Ghouls, they now have their last picks for this phase. Contra, what might they prioritize? It's very clear for BrenEsports. It's very clear that they want to give Karltizi, Few, and Lusty their heroes in the first phase, but what about Burmese Ghouls?
Burmese Ghouls here needs that sort of the big option here, and we're looking at the Claw being relatively popular right now. It's being left up here, or else moving to phase 2, you won't be seeing it left available. So, of course, pairing it with a Selena, you still need something that's pretty much solid in the front. Could they go for that Lunox again, or what?
Probably not, but yeah, I was guessing that they were going to go for Yuzong here because, again, it's going to be a pretty effective lane regardless of how you look at it, and they've already showed the Yi Shin. So the question is, what are they going to do? Are they going to lock in the Wan for the side of BrenEsports? Because Wan can't clear as fast as Claude, so they won't be able to get away with you know, being able to, you know, hyper farm and just clear out waves real quick and harass people and stuff like that.
And that's one of the things that Yi Shin gives to his allies. Like if you would go for a double marksman setup with a Yi Shin, it would make sense because a lot of the utilities from Yi Shin makes him a very safe hero to go for the kills.
I feel bad for the Yi Shin. Early on in Season 6, right? Project Next, the Yuzhong has always been an answer to the Yi Shin. Like, you just dive in. As soon as you see Mountain Shocker and you know that the Yi Shin is in range, just Black Dragon form, just go right into the face of this jungler, and they're going to have a bad day. Nice pickup by BrenEsports, though, before going into the second phase of banning. Benedetta going on to the off lane for them. bans abound. That's going to be Sylvana taken up by Bren. Burmese Ghouls, what do they want to choke out?
Probably also Magic Dealers as well. Yep, Alice has been the consistent second phase ban for the side of the Burmese Ghouls. I wouldn't be too surprised if Bren decided to get rid of Lunox or arguably even Harith at this point in time. Personally, I think the Lunox would have been a better ban because at least they have the Jawhead and the Unstoppable Force to answer Harith if he drops down the Xammin Force. Unstoppable Force, flick him backwards, you're out of the zone, smack, smack, smack.
Well, I do have an opinion here because I've been talking about Cho quite a lot, haven't I? Like a couple of past games. But BrenEsports here might be having a clear run if they can actually get their hands on it. Like, just look at the Yuzong as well as Selena. Like, yeah, of course you can get those sort of hands on squishy targets. That's the best scenario, right? Like, you just burst them down. But just creating another layer to enable the likes of Kaltizi, so this is definitely going to be something that they can look into if they want, but instead they say no, we're going to be leaving this Cho out.
This is a direct attack on Dokuribo. Like, he is just starving for heroes.
Yeah, he's starving him from heroes overall, and 1-1 for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Really smart, making sure that they can actually win the lanes. Cho already banned out from Bren's side, and it's something to keep note of here because, again, as the rest of the teams are going, they want to get their double pick to finish off the composition. They could go for the good old classics here, but I don't think they're not going to work as well, especially when, you know, Tigreal and Akai, you know, at the beginning of the tournament, we're like, Akai's pretty good, and by the end of the tournament, it's like, Akai's kind of bad.
And I think because of how the Bulls have been playing, they have redefined the metagame. Already, you're able to play these tankless lineups or pseudo-tankless lineups, and they win games, they win series off of that. So right now, I'm guessing they might pull the same gambit and threaten the win. That's going to be the Harith on D or Ruby DD. I think Ruby DD, he does great with his Harith. Yeah, from the gold lane. And then one more.
And Akai.
Oh, you're laughing about Akai, huh?
Yeah, I still think he's kind of bad right now. But look at the composition that Bren has right overall. Like, yes, you want to be able to kind of create that space. You're going to look for picks, and you're going to expect Akai to do that. The only thing I do agree with here for the Burmese Ghouls is that they needed a tank that could look for picks. I would have preferred Tigreal. At least he has a little bit more early game presence. Akai here, he's not going to be relevant until level 4. So keep that in mind because Bren's composition here, as long as they play away from the Benedetta and the Khalid and kind of just focus on, you know, defending themselves till level 4, that's when the Burmese Ghouls can start abusing Akai.
And given how these matches go, it's impossible for teams to just change their strategies and their playstyles on the fly.
Yeah.
Both Bren and Burmese Ghouls want to get that early turtle. And you're right, Akai don't do much before level 4, and Akai will be sitting at level 2 or 3 when that first turtle comes up.
Then again, some of these picks coming out from BrenEsports don't do anything really by the time that they don't hit the level 4. But you know what? Just looking at it, Akai is one of those tanks that are good against invade lineups.
Ooh.
At least.
Is that your read, Butters? Is that your read?
At least.
That was actually what I was thinking when we get into towards this game.
All right, well then, game number 5 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Burmese Ghouls versus BrenEsports. Let's get it.
Contra, talk to me more about this invade. What were some of your thoughts about how, you know, defending the invade was going to look like?
Okay, speaking of that invade, right? You just look at the entirety of the lineup. It is about setting up for that blazing duet, and of course, a little bit of an invade coming in from the side of Lusty. Oh boy.
I mean, this is what you expect when you see a Jawhead, right, Butters?
True.
But you know what? Few here getting jumped by D, and Few
Wait, don't actually die here.
doesn't have the flicker, and that is the opening. That is the opening of a Lunox. If you don't have level 4, then that only means that you are going to be a main target here for Kid.
What is... Okay, I mean, all right, that's going to be fine, but I think that, you know, you definitely should have really considered just sticking to the wave and abusing the fact that you can just be healing off the wave and you don't necessarily have to participate just yet. But now Few, once again, getting punished here by Kid.
This is looking really bad. He just entered the lane and one more Abyssal Arrow. Oh, just misses by a couple of centimeters right there. But, you know, talking about this sort of scenario here, of course, still having BrenEsports here going for those buffs. It's going to be causing a little tension here. Lusty gets bursted. As you can see, Kid is now 2-1-0 with Abyssal Arrow, really sniping him down.
Kid is so good at keeping BrenEsports at bay. He got 2 kills from BrenEsports already, and it doesn't seem like he's gonna stop soon.
Now remember what the payoff is right now, because Yishin Shin's level 4 and Shin's level 4 and Ace is still at level 3. They bought a ton of time at the cost of 2 kills, unfortunately, to say the least. But let's see whether they can convert this into something important. Like Kid, he is going to need to make sure that he lands those Abyssal Arrows. He's got 2 kills under his belt and Mystery Shop. If he ain't getting items and he ain't landing those Abyssal Arrows, he's just as good as dead.
Okay, first first start of the fight, Kid goes down.
And it's going to be the engagement coming in from the side of BrenEsports. Great, perfect pick as they connect that Abyssal Arrow, but they jump the gun. And this is where BrenEsports says, okay, we are coming right back at you with another 2 kills.
Just a bit of disrespect coming out from the side of Burmese, setting up their trenches early on.
They learned this as well from the side of Burmese schools, like using that brush. That is a trademark. That is a move that comes from Burmese schools. We've seen that in Game 3 and Game 4. Game 5, BrenEsports utilizing that jawhead to do the same play.
Yeah, and now Burmese Goals is getting invaded once again. Kid tries to look for that catch, but here comes a little bit defense coming in from Maybe. Tries to make sure that he's always in the front, soaking all the damages. And Diamond Force already popped up. Not enough to survive out of this 2v1 down by.
Wait, what is going on? Why is Kid still level 3? Maybe just hit level 4. Did Kid... Oh, looks like Kid just needs to get a little bit off of the Lethal Wanderer. It should be level 4. Yep, hits level 4 now. Maybe trying to make the play. Here it comes. Oh, no. He is just caught down right now. Oh, he's alive! He's alive! No way! This time! No way! The quicksand guard kept him alive! And now D, he's trying to finish him up, but he's buying time. Rebo! He makes it out! No way! No way!
Insane! Can we get a replay on that? He just outplayed Burmese Goals, and what a finisher!
That was a good plan coming up from Burmese Goals. Now, they poured everything onto that pickoff, but I guess it wasn't really the best target.
It has to be an executional misplay, right? They literally were on top of him. Once again, the Whirlwind is going to get on towards you, buddy. Kid gets ejected backwards, and that's going to be the end of Selena almost instantaneously. Bren, can you feel their blood pumping? I can feel the momentum coming out of these boys.
I just feel that having a break gives this players new perspective on this.
Yeah, gotta thank those 8 it's coffees out there, you know, they've been getting themselves a little bit boosted up with that. And speaking of which, it's going to be the turtle taken by BrenEsports again, going for the dive. They have managed to catch out Maybe, and this is going to be the ejector on towards Kid. How far can you run, Kid? Make your way out because they're coming for you. Now Ace forcing out a flicker. Calamity Reaper being brought by Ruby DD, but BrenEsports, they are just storming their way freely.
Now, Burmese Ghouls, they're having a bit of a problem in terms of execution. Maybe he's playing a good game, to be honest.
Yep.
He has put all the Hurricane Dance in on his belt, and it trapped a lot of people already. A lot of heroes on the side of BrenEsports. But the thing is, BrenEsports has been more responsive and more reactive to what Burmese Schools does.
I mean, those executional misplays could be a problem here as D is trying to lock down Rebo once more. Maybe he's walking up close, but again, here comes the Raging Sandstorm. He gets hit by the Abyssal Arrow. Kid should be able to secure this one. No way! They're going to let him live again. Not going to make the second mistake again as Ruby DD coming in with the Zaman Force. Going to be pushing on forward, and the Yishin Shin taking away and invading that purple buff here. But on top side, once again, it's going to be Flapteezy who's going to be locked down. And D, no! He actually gets him able to proc the passive. He's going to be on the run, but Lusty, even though he's there on the fight, it's a 2v3 situation, doesn't want to take it.
Okay, so for BrenEsports, yes, you have the lead, but you cannot go for those risky plays. You need to mind your position. As Burmese Ghouls, they have a lot of disposition. Maybe with the Hurricane Dance, if he catches you overextending, that is going to be a divided fight for your team.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that Burmese goals, although they are ticked by the Khalid that has been causing them quite a lot of upset over the top side, they have managed to turn things around. And speaking of which, ejector on towards D. He's running for his life, but this is definitely going to be a goner for the side of Burmese goals to try to rescue him in that sort of sense. So they have to give him up. Now, 4 versus 5 on this turtle. I think they also have to give even more back towards BrenEsports.
Credits to Lusty. He's doing an amazing job with these catches. However, he is collecting those kills when honestly it should be going to some other person. Hopefully that doesn't bite them in the butt later on into the game. But for now, it's like, yeah, okay, you've got the Athena shield. I don't mind tanking a couple of Abyssal arrows.
Yeah. Kid is throwing those arrows, he's hitting those arrows, but the problem is Lusty is just always in his...
Oh! Punish!
Like that?
Again!
And
Unstoppable Force as well! The Salmon Force is going to be popped out of the Blazing Duet coming in from Ace, but Ace is kind of big here. He can't finish them off. Now Rubini D is going to be the onslaught to try and push them down. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. It's a 2-for-2 trade. It's looking real good. Can they get another one? Flapteasy jumps off the wall to try and pull through, and D, he catches him off. Ace still with the orange buff. This is going to be huge. Oh my goodness. What a great fight coming in from both of these teams, but Bren still coming up on top.
Yeah, you can definitely see that he was actually controlling the tempo right there, but let's have a look at the items, Butters. I'm pretty sure that now some of these players are pretty huge in this match.
Okay, Karltizi will go for the Endless Battle. He's just setting it up. But while for Ace, he has the Demon Hunter Sword, and that is going to go to a Golden Staff. That's pretty standard. But one of the players that you really have to look out for is Ruby DD. He has a Calamity Reaper, the Feather of Heaven, and that is going to be bad for BrenEsports if they do not take account of this hero. They need to look, they need to be aware of their surroundings. They need to choose their fights. Don't fight on narrow spaces if they want to win this. But for Burmese schools, if you want to win, place your fights there.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been looking at all these sort of picks, right? Just look at Lusty. He's actually going in towards a full armor build as well as getting tanky as it goes. But he's managing that 5 kills every single time that he goes in for the effort. Just going for the Unstoppable Force, trying to catch either Kid or at times maybe because he's the first target that you see most of the time, right? So making sure that you don't have Hurricane Dance when you need it the most is going to be very vital.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Hurricane Dance is a huge spell, but the Mountain Chakra coming out from BrenEsports' side, really smart stuff, especially when they're taking Turtle. Burmese Ghouls, they want to go in, but only when it's inconspicuous, baby. He jumps on in with a 1000-pounder and now forces out Lusty into that corner where the Hurricane Dance forcing out the fight. Ruby Kid is going down. Ace already coming in with a Blazing Duet. It's not going to be enough. He does get the Golden Staff, but the rest of the team, Bren is on the run. Can they turn this around? He turns in and tries to go. Kid gets on top of him. The Salmon Force have been working out perfectly well, and they catch them out again. Kid, this wonder kid landing every important Abyssal arrow yet.
What did we tell them about, no, you know, not going in towards the jungle invade, but Rainbow now going for the catch as well. He's trying to pick up Ruby DD. This is gonna look pretty bad because BrenEsports loses another one, leaving only Karltizi behind.
BrenEsports, they're making these risky decisions that they shouldn't be even taking. They have the lead as of now, and after that, I think Burmese Ghouls, they know that they can fight at this point on 50 seconds on the timer on that Lord, and that is going to be the first major fight here that Burmese Ghouls is going to take.
And I mean, the picks have been going really well. Let's look at the items one more time to get a better idea, because I did see Karltizi actually getting the Endless Battle as well as the Blade of Despair all of a sudden, 2 in a row, and yeah, he is going to have a ton of damage already hitting level 15 on top of that.
You know what? Ace has his own items as well, and in terms of damage output, he has an AoE.
There we go. And it's going to Mountain Chakra being used and expanded. Immediately reply with the Hurricane Dance as well, pinning him down towards the wall. Here comes Activity, trying to actually pop out that Electo into play. But my goodness, there's a split push coming on from the side of D. As Burmese Ghouls, they're tearing out some of all these members to different parts of the map. But Ripple, now in the middle of it all, it's going to be Abyssal Arrow trying to connect towards the side of BrenEsports. Baptiste, he does get a lot of damage out towards the side of Ace, but Ace walks away alive. But still, D is on the back. They might just actually look for picks, but we're going in for a little bit of room to just dissect this big fight that just erupted.
Oh my goodness, these fights have been absolutely ridiculous here, but right now the major issue that I'm seeing now, especially since the 8th minute, pull it back one more minute, the 7th minute of the game here, is the fact that Benedetta isn't exactly clearing her waves before she joins that fight, resulting in a lot of not even missed opportunities, just a lot of gold for free going over to the side of the Burmese Ghouls. Like, Yuzong getting a huge push on that top side shouldn't be happening.
And this is where BrenEsports, I think, is having tunnel vision. Like, they just want to win the fights, and they know that they can. But still, if it's going to be an even, it's going to be an even trade. Like, let's say 2 for 2.
Leo?
Then someone just, gets a push onto the bottom lane. That's going to the side of Burmese Ghouls.
Totally fair, but Leo, what are some of your thoughts on this while we're in this in-game pause?
This reminds me of Game 4. Remember Game 4? It was all Bren in the early game. And then as soon as the Marksman, Ace, and Ruby DD came online, it's over. It's over. Like, this is what it's turning about, and so far, it's frustrating to see Bren just fall for these traps. Again, like, oh, here's one. No. We got you. And then Burmese Ghouls turn around. And again, the accuracy of D on this Selena is just ridiculous.
Oh, you mean Kid, actually.
Kid. Well, yeah, Selena on Kid on Selena. It is what it is.
It honestly really is nasty. And Aaron, I want to get your thought on this because, again, the chase, just the fact that Burmese Ghouls, when they get that first initial pick, they really know how to chase you down.
Yeah, and immediately, that's where the Akai responds, and will all of them just topple all these sort of members all the way in towards that dive, and look at all these sort of these scenarios that has came by. Like, the Yuzong also roams freely. Like, it's something that, honestly, Burmese Ghouls definitely knows they're not going to be focusing on towards these Yuzong anyways, and he gets that free reign up top, now opening up the map. So someone has to deal with this situation when they go in towards fights, because this sort of split push can happen again.
That's how bad it is for BrenEsports right now. Is because D is having the time of his life up top, and the mere fact that out there is maybe this Akai, it just splits open the map and, again, gives D all the space to just wreak havoc in one single lane. Gideon, has this changed your mind? Do you like the Akai now? Are you a believer?
I'm not 100% believer on it. Butters, what do you think?
I think it's actually effective against this side of BrenEsports.
It stops you from making those important plays, like your positioning. You gotta keep it in check. But BrenEsports, they've been falling for these traps, and that is why I think Akai is working.
I don't think Akai is working at 100%. I would give it's working at 70% efficiency here.
Hey, 70% is better than less than 50.
Agreed. However, my biggest concern for the side of BrenEsports is mainly Flapteezy, because he knows he's supposed to be this big damage dealer for the team, and he feels like, I gotta be in this fight, but he's gotta believe that Carl Teasy is able to pull this out, because at the end of the day, Flapteezy's job is to make sure they don't lose side objectives when these fights occur. He clears faster than the Yuzong. He rotates faster than the Yuzong every single time.
True enough, but speaking of buying time here, it's going to be maybe it being that sort of the non-value target that is always bugging the back lines or the front lines of the side of BrenEsports, and immediately buying time for this Lord, and it will be Burmese Ghouls that gets it in the way. Flicker being popped there from the side of Lusty. Ace goes in for the place, they get that pick on towards the Giant, but look at maybe, he does lose a lot of health, but Flapteezy coming in to cut right through. Ruby DD tries to turn this one around. Flapteezy has to make a way to Ash right out, but the rest of BrenEsports, they're slowly being wiped away.
Oh my goodness, Burmese Ghouls. They're so good with these reinitiations. The counter engage, they go for a fake back, then BrenEsports chases. Burmese Ghouls just surprises them by pushing forward as well.
I mean, Bren, they are getting hot-headed here. They are really tunnel visioning on these situations. The moment the Lord is gone, yes, you can force, but again, I have to admit, even I would have fallen for something like that. But again, discipline is going to be key, because the Burmese Ghouls managed to outplay so many of them. Flapteezy ended up getting solo killed by Ruby DD, even though he did have the execute. Something you don't usually see.
Yeah, and just look at how huge Ace is at right now. But over the top side, there's also another situation going on. They're trying to force their way through as Ripple is already clearing out the wave. Over on the mid side, you can definitely see Flaptizi keeping an eye out as well. Oh, great damage onto Kid, but Missile Arrow does not land. Now they do find a way to actually open up the bottom side, and the side lane's pretty much exposed.
Oh boy, it's going to be a game of scaling here. RubyDD is able to get another inhibitor turret on top of everything else, and Ace, he comes in with the Battle Mirror image. He's also got the orange buff, so he does a bit of damage, bringing Flaptizi down to 50% of his HP.
Okay, maybe. This is something that Akai does as well, Gideon. Like, you can't really position yourself near the brushes just because there could be a hurricane dance that's about to hit you. And he does have the flicker as well. It's not the same as your Akai Petrify. He can position himself well with this.
And also now that he's purchased that immortality, having 2 lives into play, and this can go on for so much longer. Mountain Shocker exposes Kid, so he's going to be falling back. But Flaptizi being pretty much close proximity. It might just be a pick right here. Brilliants have already been popped coming from the Lunox, but maybe trying to force the issue right now. BrenEsports respecting the dives, and Lusty gets caught out. Flickers away, but still having Ace picking him off. It's a mega kill for the Yuzong. 2 members down, and man, BrenEsports needs to defend for their lives right now.
And honestly, maybe is doing a really good job acting as a threat. Flaptizi is going to clear up the waves as soon as he can, but now RubyDD is getting into that backline, drops that Salmon Force, gets that free kill, and Bren, they just got to let this one escape here. 10 more seconds till Lusty comes back up, but wait, there is no wave. Oh no, it's going to be Flaptizi who's going to get caught out here, stuck against the wall. That's going to be GG. Burmese Ghouls take the 5th round.
Burmese Ghouls at match point, and they are feeling good about this. They feel confident. You can hear them screaming. It's there. One more game for Burmese Ghouls. Just one more game.
They need that championship point in hand, and oh my goodness, they are sitting pretty and just needing that few more steps in towards the finish line. And Leo, honestly, is it signs that BrenEsports are losing a lot of energy to cross that hurdle?
I don't know if it's frustration, if it's fatigue, if it's just the way that they play. They're not used to battle of attrition like this. But if there's anything I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the caster's desk, is the fact that it's deja vu. This feels like game number 4. Bren obviously had the early half of that game up until the point wherein Burmese Ghouls were just reading them and telling them, all right, fight over here, pick off 1, 2. Fight over here, fight over here, pick off 1, 2. And then they just come to the point wherein Bren can't even leave their own base.
Oh boy, I totally agree, and especially towards the later stages of the game, Akai just became more and more relevant, especially when the Yuzong was pretty much unstoppable at that point of time. Really,
there is a difference. Well, I did discuss this earlier. There is a difference between the Akai Petrify and the Akai Flicker. The Akai Flicker has a lot of gap closers, the 1000 Pounder, the Flicker as well, and you saw that at the final play of Akai. He used that to just go and catch Carl and Flap, the TZ brothers, in the same wall.
And that's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So, Gideon, now that Burmese Ghouls have locked in their 3 games, they're 1 away from being named the M2 World Champions for 2020. Are you a believer now in the Akai? Has this changed your mind, or is 1 game just 1 game?
One convert this, and this will be more than that 50% that I mentioned.
Numbers, but I'm not 100% believer. I do think that there are very clear weaknesses, and you have to kind of give it the Kid who kind of compensated for the fact that Akai was essentially a non-factor until he hit level 4.
All right, so he helped out. So Kid was the training wheels.
Yeah.
Slowly, Akai might get there, but
exactly.
we need more reps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our take on game number 5. Wow. Those words leave in my lips, just gives me the shivers because it could all end in the very next minutes. All right, stay with us because we're going to have our analysts, Lafell and Wolf, breaking down game number 5. Boys, tell us.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And yeah, right now it's basically BG game point, where again, it looks like they were like, okay, we didn't do so good in the early and the mid stages, but in the late game, we got it. My name is LaFell, and this is Wolf. Wolf, talk us through it. What happened?
Oh man, space for Ace is getting truer and truer every game that we watch Burmese Schools. And I think that this is off of the fact that everybody else from Burmese Schools understands Mobile Legends, particularly in understanding win conditions.
Exactly.
This particular game, they know that they are not that strong in the early stages. In fact, they have conceded some of the important objectives. But what they did not concede is the Claude. And I have to really give a lot of emphasis on how Kid was able to equalize this game. Here's the thing, they were losing so badly. But if you have a very volatile hero like that of the Selena, which was, by the way, first picked by the Burmese Schools, there's your difference maker.
And right now, let's look at the itemization as well as the hero use in this game. And again, Selena, just like you said, Kid on Selena did work. First of all, in the early game, where BrenEsports, they tried to invade the jungle. But Selena, the traps, it hurts. And even win that 1v1 with the Lunox. And then after that, a lot of those crazy arrows hitting the targets from BrenEsports, creating a very easy initiation by the team of Burmese Schools, and making BrenEsports like, okay, could you stop? This kind of hurts.
Yeah. I want to say Khalid last pick by BrenEsports. It made a lot of sense to me. And Rebo played his heart out. There were many times where he won his lane, was able to bail out the members of Burmese Schools. He picked up a good itemization with the casual Dreadnought armor as well as the Deadly Blade that kind of countered the sustain from Burmese Schools. My oh my, he performed so well. Unfortunately for BrenEsports, it was a one-dimensional hero. That is the biggest problem you have with the Khalid. As strong as he is, you kind of know what he wants to do and what he brings to the table. Lusty played his heart out. Yisunship was also good. However, BrenEsports, they were too focused on winning those big objectives that they forgot they have to control the map.
And right now, if we could hold this image for just a little while, I want to prove your point. Where Burmese Schools, they understand, it's like, hey, BrenEsports, we watch your games. You like that turtle? Take it. 4 turtles to BrenEsports and 0 to Burmese Schools. They're like, we don't need that right now. As important as it is, if they play the turtle, BrenEsports will win 8 times out of 10. So they're like, we do not want to take the chance. We just want to farm. Look at the Claude. 6, 0, 11. Itemization. Basically almost full damage. Yes, the Wind of Nature is used in a more defensive kind of sense, but it's still attributing to the physical attack. As well as the Queen's Wings has the ability to sustain the damage just a little bit more. But the thing is, 6, 0, 11 is doing so good.
BrenEsports with the tempo and them understanding that they needed to take the turtles, it was so amazing to the point where I didn't notice that we had 4 turtles. Because it is true. If you take the turtle for about 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and you continuously get it, you'll get to up to 4 turtles. That's why BrenEsports were leading by so much. However, Burmese Schools, they're playmakers. Like, look at this guy, Akai, 0 and 5. But can you say that he played badly in this game? Absolutely not. He knew exactly what his role was in this game, which was to make the space for Ace. Do take note, the Granite and the Claude, they will take a lot of time for them to get the farm up, but Burmese Schools know how to do it.
And right now the MVP of the game is going over to Kid with the Selena, because KDA don't matter. It matters what you do in the game, in the early stages of the game. Just like what our casters say, he's the training wheels. But the thing is, this training wheel really helped them out in the early stages of the game, making sure that they proceed to the mid stages a little bit safely, and in the late stages, giving all that crucial information to make sure that they don't get caught, making sure that those arrows hit a very clean initiation. And the thing is, this Kid is good.
Yeah, he ain't kidding. That's one of my posts out there. This guy, the Selena, really punished BrenEsports many times in this particular game. Do take note, BrenEsports, they were leading. And it's natural for a team who's leading to kind of go up front and collide head-on against their opponents, right? And even if you look at the heroes of BrenEsports, they kind of want to go in front of their opponents. Like, you have the Khalid, you have the Joy, you want to go inside those fights. But the one-by-one audition happened once again. They went in one after the other, and they were picked apart easily by Burmese Schools.
Either way, right now, BrenEsports is do or die.
Or die.
Whatever they need, coffee or whatever, they gotta get it right now, because if they lose, this is potential the final game. But if they win, then we're going to go all out. It's basically going to be a best of one all over again. We are going to look closely at the draft, but more importantly, we want to see how the game is played according to those phases. If the early game, BrenEsports play aggressive enough, that's good. But if they don't end it by, say, 12 minutes, 40 minutes, then Burmese Ghouls have a very good chance to end it out.
You know what's really scary about this? Burmese Ghouls have proven that they can defeat the Flapsha.
Yeah.
They can defeat the Carl TZ Lancelot.
Yeah.
They can defeat the Farsa. They have shown that some of they can defeat the Yuzong as well, right?
Yeah.
Burmese Ghouls have shown so much, and it's going to be really scary on the side of BrenEsports. However, we do want to see a game number 7, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But with how Burmese Ghouls have been performing in the past 3 games, this is really scary. They look like a team that's in it to get that trophy on top of that turret.
Either way, even without that Diggy, looks like Burmese Ghouls, they still have a ticking time bomb. Beat us out by this time. If not, it's done. Either way, we're going to go straight to the casters to go straight to our game, potentially the last game. My name is Avel, this is Wolf. Casters, please take it away.
Thank you so much, LaFell and Wolf, breaking down game number 5. Before this all begins, once more, we would like to thank Tumi for being the partner in esports for M2. As the journey to become the champion of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpack, you can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without worry. Be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
An established distributor of many well-loved consumer brands in Asia, the SUTL Group is proud to be MLB's partner in esports of 2021 for Fiji Water, iChung's It's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
Catch the live streaming of the mega event Mobile Legends BangBang M2 World Championship 2020 held in Singapore for free on MeWatch. That's happening all the way from the 18th till today. So this is the very last match you're watching. If you're watching from MeWatch, what's good? A total of 12 teams have come to compete from 9 countries to win the lion's share of 300,000 USD, and it might all come to a head right here, right now. Game number 6. The Burmese are threatening a finish. And may I just say, I don't know, for our viewers, welcome, by the way. My name is Leo. This right here is Contra, Gideon Q, and Butters. And correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but Atanki Hakarar. That is
mean?
Burmese for impressive.
Very, very impressive indeed. And we saw a full throttle run coming from Burmese Ghouls. And wow, now this is the championship point that we're talking about. It's time that if BrenEsports need to find that answer to just halt and put a break on this full speed Burmese Ghoul side.
I don't know whether this is just the momentum here, because again, you can definitely see that, you know, when Brent starts off a game, they start really, really hot. And at that point in time, at least the idea for Burmese Ghouls, they understand, they wait for a particular power spike before taking back these fights. And they are very, very clear on when to do it as well.
Burmese Ghouls are really just disciplined. Like, from minute 1 to minute 20, their game won't change. They make adjustments here and there, but the core, the discipline, they don't take risky plays. If they ever take risky plays, then they make it a bit calculated. They go for the best path. Now for BrenEsports, they kind of have this, how do I say this? They really just, tunnel vision. They just want to get the kills as much as possible. They want to punish the first person they see on their side of the jungle. They're not really making the best plays for their side.
I see. They're getting frustrated, and I'm pretty sure, just the same as all of us here at the caster desk, viewers are sweating bullets, right? Viewers from Myanmar, they could walk away with the championship. Viewers from the Philippines, they're hoping for one more game, right?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, Butters. I think it's frustration. I think it's frustration and a mix of fatigue because, do note, BrenEsports, they've been playing since the morning.
And,
yeah. On top of that, of course, they also have to be a little bit more far-sighted because that's what Burmese Ghouls are. Like, immediately we saw that Selena coming in with the first pick, we're like, something so volatile, and you're going for the first pick, and it started to make so much more sense. They're looking for all these sort of setups alongside with the Akai. Yep, you got the mid shields coming in. As much as you don't trust Akai, you got to trust Panda, who's on stage drafting this game.
Panda has been drafting these games well. Ducky isn't really new to this certain kind of, let's say, certain kind of atmosphere. The grand finals, he's not new here. But for Panda, he's keeping his cool. He's making good pick. He's putting good drafts for his team, and his team really looks comfortable for Game 3, Game 4, Game 5.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, Panda is just an inspiration to basically everybody in Myanmar right now, because he's not, like, previously in M1, one of his players not exactly having the best of times, he stood in and said, don't worry, I will be the one who will take his position, and they went pretty far into M1, and I quoted then, these guys have a lot of potential. Give them a year, and they're going to be back to win it, and I honestly didn't think that they would do it. It feels like it was only yesterday, and look at them now.
Yeah, and some may say it felt more like a year that these guys are playing with each other, and wow, it just felt like yesterday was, you know, the other tournament back then in 2019, and wow, they just changed so rapidly in every single match with those drafts.
Shocking everyone, right? Shocking everyone. Predictions out the window, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reality we have. 2021 is the age of the Burmese ghouls, and right now, BrenEsports, they have to disprove that. It's on them. They have to work extra hard.
Yeah, and clearly now Panda is just sitting there, just waiting, just rubbing his hands, brewing his next big strategy that he's gonna go for game number 6. For BrenEsports here, they look worried. They really look worried.
I mean, this is match point. Like, when you get to that, honestly, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be in an environment once you have reached the pinnacle, when you are right at the mountaintop. And guess what? When you hit that plateau of saying this is the highest peak, you look across the other side and you see somebody else who also reaches there. Only one of you can claim it here. And with that much pressure, everything sort of just fades away, and all the responsibilities and all the expectations are going to be on your shoulders. This is going to be the heaviest fight of these two teams' lives and careers.
Yep. Real quick before the draft begins, let's talk about why this happens, all right? How come 2 games in a row, BrenEsports owns the first half, and then later on, at a very, very defined moment, I'm guessing if the numbers are correct, it'll fall somewhere between the 10 to 12 minute mark. Things just fall sideways. We'll get to the answer later, all right? I want you guys to think about the answer. I want y'all to consider all the factors as to why it happened. We have 2 games to look back to, while I tell the good folks at home watching that we are pleased to announce the launch of the new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. The new adventure will officially begin on January 30th. There's a new upgrading system called Blessing, new little commander and map. All synergies will be revamped, and free trial of advanced skins await you. Once more, this is Battle Night happening on January 30th. Log in to claim your free permanent skin. All right? Teacher Leo in the building, who wants to go first and try to answer?
Mr. Leo, pick me.
Get in queue.
Okay, so with the lineups that we've been seeing for the Burmese schools, for a large majority of the way they kind of been playing this game, they like to kind of play around, especially marksmen who have a item power spike, and specifically 2 item power spikes. Those are going to be the meta ones that we're looking for, and the same goes for mages who are falling into that same sort of region here. The Hariths, the Lunox. By 12 minutes, if you are so far behind that you can't get 2 items, I don't know what to say. You've pretty much already lost the game. And BrenEsports so far, I think the major problem that they get into is once they hit that 11-minute mark, they're thinking, I gotta finish this game, I gotta finish this game, I gotta finish this game, and tunnel vision, making very careless plays when really they should be waiting for Lord.
Yeah, this is definitely the point out there, because they should play the bigger macro game out there just to ensure, okay, all these normal things that you should be looking out for. Waves, is it checked? Have you been pushing out those turrets? And if the Lord's not coming up by then, yeah, just keep repeating it.
All right. So far, answers in. Locking them in, all right. Information overload, Butters. Before we get to your answer, that's the draft starting. Diggy taken out, as well as usage in by BrenEsports, and the Burmese Ghouls get rid of Esmeralda, waiting on that back shot. Now, why do you think Bren falls off?
I mean, it's all about the hero choices. Like, you pick an assassin, a Lancelot. Lancelot is hard is easy to use up until the 12-minute mark. When you get past that first Lord, that is going to be your only opening. So it's hard to end. It's hard to end a game against Burmese schools that fast.
Guys, there's a Brody online.
Natalia hasn't been banned out. Boxia hasn't been banned out. This is, ooh, boy. I don't know what to say about this, but it looks like Bren, being on the blue side, wants to take full advantage of the fact that, hey, you've been using Yishin Shin, Diggy, as well as Claude a little too efficiently. Chop, 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 chop.
Yeah.
Let's cut him right in the ankle.
Yeah, I guess 6 games in a row seems to be enough of a litmus test to understand what makes things tick. And right now, Burmese Ghouls say, all right, well, let's go back to what's been working. Yu Zhong and Baksha. No hard counter out there for you, Bren. This is the Burmese way. Contra, you were saying?
Yeah, I was about to say that, you know, they want to go back to the drawing board, not look towards assassins anymore. They were also great in playing all these marksmen, like, you know, we saw the Claude, but now you have that triple S tier pick, Brody.
Yeah.
So this triple S tier pick should be getting them pretty much a hit, but pairing it up is going to be pretty vital against this Baxier.
Natalia Silvana, that's my guess.
Oh,
It could be. And Allison and Lunox
Completely off.
what?
Completely off.
What?
Okay, so they just addressed the problem at hand. They just pick it. They know Burmese schools really really ban out the Alice for the second phase.
Oh,
So yeah, it's fair. Like BrenEsports, they ban out the Diggy, right? They also ban the Claude. These are heroes that Burmese schools really use, and Ace plays a mean Claude.
I'm not going to disagree, but my big question is, like, why would you play Alice into the Boxia? You know Boxia has already been locked in. You can visibly see it.
yeah, that's like obviously picking a rock in your opponent's paper, right?
Exactly, right? Like, you know, you're one move away from tic-tac-toe, and all of a sudden you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there.
This is the defense right here. I just go off. But
Yeah.
back to the bans, we'll figure out what Bren is thinking here. Burmese Ghouls, they ban out the Jawhead. So yeah, obviously a read. Of the 3 rows in mid, they did not feel lusty just yet. BrenEsports banning out the Harith. Yeah, I think this is a block on Ruby DD.
Definitely a block on towards his side, and now with Harith being banned away, they're definitely getting Burmese goals, having so little to work with. But then again, I could be wrong here. But what are the chances here if BrenEsports go ahead, steal a copy of the homework once again, take a grok, an offensive grok, throw the bodies like how Burmese goals throw the bodies, now that they have that layer of the Lunox in between?
Very possible, but do note it's the Burmese Ghouls who are going to go for the pick first. As soon as things come back around. BrenEsports, they can ban out another side laner, or they can ban out a hero from Ace. Ace does not have a hero just yet.
Natalia, oh boy.
I feel that Hayabusa is going to be a great ban for the side of BrenEsports. It can close the gap between Brody and the Hayabusa, but BrenEsports just go for the Lapu Lapu. They could have picked that up for their side.
Beats me at this point. Beats me. But I think, you know, Bren, they just needed to ban something. I mean, Boxia would have been fine against the Lapu Lapu or the Yuzong in these situations. You just have to kind of wait till level 4, clear the waves, and do your job A-okay. Now, Bren, they're going to be locking in the Benedetta. However, previously, Burmese Ghouls going to be locking in the Farsa as their pick.
Okay, they're getting a Benedetta right here. Do you feel like this is a little bit greedy with the picks, or is this going to be that mid lane Benedetta that we are seeing right here?
I think it's okay. It's the best that they got. And right here, right now, this is the Bren Gambit. Like, they're just picking heroes that are good for them so far. And yeah, Burmese Ghouls. Butters, you said it earlier. They needed the Hayabusa. It did not get banned. And yeah, now I see why the Lapu Lapu might have been a burn.
This is deadly. Double assassin team composition for Burmese goals. The last time we saw Hayabusa, do refresh me, when exactly was that?
It was when Bren took a series as well, earlier today.
Yeah.
Earlier today. Side lane Hayabusa.
Side lane Hayabusa. I don't know, because the important thing for specifically the Burmese Ghouls is just that wave control, and it's going to be a little bit difficult in the earlier stages of the game. You don't have the items, so you naturally have to depend on EXP to help you clear it out, but it's not the fastest. Bren on the other side, they've got some decent, and I say decent wave clear at best, but they are an extreme, but they do have a Brody, and I don't know if Brody can compensate for all of that.
Honestly, it's definitely a tough question to answer right now because you got double assassins on deck. So if that OG Shadow kill alongside with the Tyler trolling behind, like, what can you do?
I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Game number 6 could end right here, right now. This is the Burmese Ghouls versus BrenEsports. The age of Myanmar MLBB might as well be upon us.
You know, we're going in towards this championship point right here for the likes of Burmese Ghouls, but I'm thinking that BrenEsports, they have finally gotten enough of that tenacity. They know that it's been so many matches that we've been playing upper brackets, lower brackets, and we've made it thus far. But now, it's going to be Lusty with a temp.
Okay, Lusty is going to try and deny maybe from this buff here. They want to just make sure that Ace, he goes and gets the wave, but still manages to come back to pick it up. Not so bad overall. Didn't even have to use Retribution. However, 3 executes for the side of Burmese Ghouls. They're going to make sure they kill that one poor soul.
And Carl Teasy here is going to be the possible target of those executes. Probably Flap as well, since they don't really have the hold on that Benedetta. But yeah, I mean, BrenEsports just go for the information. Burmese Ghouls just trying to get their level 4, and probably they're gonna have a team fight by the time that Ruby DD hits level 4.
Did Lusty just pop that flicker for not much of a reason, and now he's being stuck in between? I'm not too sure if this is definitely the good call coming from BrenEsports, but View tries to pressure the rest of Burmese Ghouls all the way backwards. So lucky enough, he will be able to escape. But Dino, this is first blood for Kalteezy.
And this is usually the pacing of our early game. BrenEsports gets the early lead. Burmese Ghouls become disciplined. They don't take the risky plays, and they usually take the game back before the mid-game spike hits.
I mean, we're going to have to wait and see whether this is going to be the same case again. It also depends on how much of a lead that Bren is able to develop. But on top side, a lot of contestants here, especially between Ruby DD and with the help of Kid, it's becoming a bit tough. But Kid doesn't necessarily... Oh, he's kind of low here. This is going to be risky for both sides. Now, the fight is going to work here. Kid is going to be able to find that execute on to Cho, and unfortunately, that's going to be Burmese Ghouls picking this up, and it's going to be Farsa going to be zoning the rest out. Phew! He's kind of low, and now... Oh! The headshot with the flames!
What a long range. I think that's actually a max range flame shot that we're seeing. Trying to go in for the body block, but... Oh boy, still gets caught out. Feels bad, not gonna lie.
So what happened there? BrenEsports, they had Flap only at level 3. He didn't have the Electro Final Blow. Burmese Ghouls, their course, were at level 4, so they had a better time just controlling that certain fight.
Turtle, that much important, especially at a key point in the game. Now, Bren, okay, fine. You get it. You get 2 kills. We're able to trade 1. You get a turtle. No big deal. No big deal. Now you have to start looking for the punish. But Kid, he drops down the smoke screen as well with the help of D, actually behind him with the feather airstrike to make sure they are punishing Flapteezy as much as they can.
This is a battle between Lusty and Kid on how good they are at finding each other. So the one who's it is going to be Lusty, and the one who's hiding is always going to be Kid.
For sure, for sure. With the Kid on Kid, definitely it's a lot more harder in this game of hide and seek, but you know, Flapteezy is gonna have to contribute in towards the late game because at least the side of BrenEsports, they have some insurance, and here comes the fight.
Oh, maybe he's already starting the initiation with BDD jumping into the backline. Flapteezy is now in trouble, but now Rebo taking a full hit of the Oki Shadow kill. Really clean initiation coming in from the Burmese Ghouls, but does Bren want to look for some, you know, retribution kills? No, it looks like they back away.
Over on the mid side, though, D easily just flutters away, but opening up towards the top lane, Burmese Ghouls will be able to secure not only gold, but Okay, just go for the moment. But Lusty going for the catch on towards Ruby DD. They try to make a run. Wave the Dragon already connects. And there goes Yuzong.
Yep.
All right, now Burmese Ghouls, they do have the triple execute setup, but they don't have the flicker. So if they